Hey, Birchouse friends, welcome back. So this week, Andrew asks, Hey, Birchouse, what is your favorite movie? And boy, howdy, have you opened a can of worms. Um, I think I've said this in a previous Hey, Birchouse, but I'm a big film nerd. Um, I love movies, and I love the art of movie making. Um, I grew up making films with my friends. And my younger brother and I uh, had a YouTube channel for a while where we did small films and skits and things of that nature. Um, really cringe stuff, but a ton of fun. And I love watching film. Um, and so I really had a hard time thinking all week about how I was going to make this video because I don't have a favorite movie. Um, because there's so many I love. So what I did was I wrote a short list of films that really affected me, or that I think about a lot, um, or that really inspired me as somebody who watches movies and has dabbled in movie making. I say dabble very, very loosely. Um, I'm being very generous with the word dabbled. um, so I wrote this short list, and I'm not even sure that I'm fully committed to this list. There were a lot of super painful cuts that I made, but if I had put on everything I really love, we would be here for 30, 45 minutes. And I'm going to try and keep this video concise. But let's start off with Jurassic Park. When I was 8 years old, I went and saw Jurassic Park in the theaters with my mom. It was so thrilling to see a Brachiosaurus or a T Rex, and they look so real for the first time. And really, they hold up. I watched the first Jurassic Park, I think last year, and you could start to see like, okay, it's the time is starting to not be kind to it. But honestly, I don't think that's true. It still looks phenomenal. Um, but beyond the thrill of the film itself, it was the first time that even at 8 years old, I was like, oh, this is an art form. And it was the first moment that sparked my interest in film. Um, so yeah, Jurassic Park will always be among my favorites. Uh, I'll follow it up with Star Wars, Episode 4, the first Star Wars. I know everybody will argue Empire's the better film. You're wrong, and I'll fight you. Star Wars is the best the franchise has to offer. Um, and it's hard now to kind of think of Star Wars as anything other than a massive franchise. And certainly, we've seen the ups and downs of that franchise. It's not always easy being a fan of the Star Wars franchise. Um, but I think that first movie stands the test of time. And I saw that when I was 11. We had a minister that lived a couple blocks down from us, and he let me borrow his VHS set of Star Wars. It was the first time I had seen it, um, and I watched it with my folks. And I think we stayed up until like 2 in the morning. And from that first movie, I was in love. Um, it's funny, quirky. The action is thrilling. I just love that. I love that first movie. I'm going to follow it up with 1917. We'll get serious here for a moment. Um, I think what Sam Mendes does with the movie 1917 is take the horrors of war and puts it kind of in the background where you're kind of in it. Um, I think movies like Saving Private Ryan, there's this kind of gratuitous violence um, that's kind of pushed in your face, and I think there's merit to that too. But I think having that violence and horror as kind of an environment um, really heightens the tension of the film. Um, and there's not a more heroic scene, I think, than the moment where they're pushing a truck. And I think it's so indicative of Sam Mendes' ability to bring out heroics in a very mundane action. Um, let's talk about comedies. The Producers will always be my favorite Mel Brooks film. Um, I would say that probably, uh, I would say probably Blazing Saddles is funnier, but The Producers just has so much heart. Um, I will never not smile at Kenneth Mars uh, doing the Nazi shtick. Um, I love the chemistry between Zara Mostel and Gene Wilder. It is one of my favorite comedies of all time. If you haven't seen it, go buy or rent it, watch it. It's hysterical. Um, and I'll follow that up with Hot Fuzz. Uh, I know everybody loves Shaun the Dead, but Hot Fuzz is the standout of the Cornetto trilogy to me. It's where everything comes together on the Cornetto trilogy. It is wickedly funny, and it's really just a very clever film. Um, all the little things that, all the little details that Edgar Wright puts in the film. Everything from the, if you look at the final gunfight, nobody actually dies. So as police officers, they never kill anybody. Um, it's such a good action buddy cop movie and such a great spoof of an action buddy cop movie, and it's just a funny movie in its own right and wickedly clever. Um, Iron Giant. I don't get emotional really with movies. I don't really cry at films or anything. I didn't cry at Schindler's List. I know that's a travesty. I don't really cry at movies or film. I can never watch the end of Iron Giant and not get choked up. I don't know what it is about that movie that makes me get choked up, but it does. I think it's maybe the pacing of the ending. Things happen rapidly at the end. Um, and so you never get a moment to catch your breath to kind of let things sink in. And it's just a heartwarming story. I love Hogarth so much. I love the Giant so much. It's such a great film. Um, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I don't think anybody has captured the feel of a comic book like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Um, I'm really, like most people, very, very burnt out on comic book movies. We are just, it's a constant stream, a constant dump of comic book movies, which is funny and kind of sad because there was a time where, you never thought you'd get to see Moon Knight in some form of media, or you never got to thought you got get to see some of these characters. And now we have so many of them. You're like, okay, please stop. Um, Having said that, Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse is, I think, the best that the genre has produced. It has so much heart and so much love. Um, I love Miles Morales as a Spider-Man. He's such a great Spider-Man. Um, but everything clicks. Even Chris Pine is Spider-Man towards the beginning, and he has a very brief moment at the beginning of the movie, and even that very brief moment, he packs so much emotional weight um, into his just that little brief segment. Um, it's just a great film. I know I'm babbling. This is what I love. North by Northwest. North by Northwest, I think, is the best James Bond movie that isn't a James Bond movie. It has that whole spy vibe, um, and I think North by Northwest is the culmination of all of Alfred Hitchcock's best traits put into one film. All of his best instincts are put on display. It's funny, it's thrilling, it can keep you on the edge of your seat. And I will never not laugh at Cary Grant being such a mama's boy in the movie. Um, it just makes, as suave as he is, as uh, cool as he is, being such a mama's boy cracks me up. Um, it's just so funny to me. Uh, but what a great, that's a great movie. If you've never seen North by Northwest, again, rent, buy, whatever, go watch it. You'll have a great time. And I'm not much of a horror movie fan. I I've watched Nope, I watched Get Out, Psycho. Um, I watch horror movies. I'm not a huge horror fan. But one that I think about a lot, a lot, is Carnival of Souls. It's an older film, um, and it's so unsettling. It's not horror, and it's not a slasher. It's not it's a thriller, is what I would probably call it. But it's so unsettling and so ambiguous. Um, and I think that ambiguity is what makes it so unsettling. You never really know what's going on, and I don't think even the end really lets you in on what's going on. I think it's such a interesting movie, and I think about it a lot. Um, so I won't ramble anymore. That's my short list. Uh, that was a great question. Thank you for letting me vent. If you ever have a question for Birchouse, comment below with "Hey Birchouse, ask," and we'll answer in a future video. In the meantime, we'll see you all next Wednesday.